we had little crystal radios, you know how they used to make little crystal radios? And we'd turn that on, and early in the morning, she'd tell us certain cost for our outfit. And said, you guys better get the hell out of that wood. We're going to shoot in there so time, and they did. And we'd moved. And, yeah.
Well, she was in a high jeopardy position. She had to...
Yeah, and I think she got a sentence to her.
Did she?
I'm not sure. But I think she got, when she come back to States, I think they prosecuted her. Yeah. And,
why? Because she told the other side to get out too?
huh?
Because she told the other side to get out too?
No, she just tell us she was on the German side.
Oh.
And, yeah. I don't know what was.
Well, there's all kinds of crazy stuff like that, because, I mean...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, a lot depends on who wins as to what was right and what was wrong.
We were standing in a big circle one day, a bunch of us just shooting a ball. Some guy who was trying to be funny, he poured all the powder out of the grenade, and put the pin back, and he pulled the pin and threw it up in front of us. And boy, everybody scattered. Of course, they turned around and beat the hell out of him.
I was going to say, that was probably dumb on his part.
Yeah.
Not much of a joke in that situation. You guys are going to clean your clock.
You didn't joke with people over there, really. You know.
Not when you're in fear for your life.
And we lost more people, you know, lost their mind on the front line than got shot. And I guess that's the truth. And, I had a real good trip home, though. We had everything we wanted to eat. They gave us all psychology examinations, you know, when we got home. And they parked us out in the bay in Newport News, Virginia. And the hospital ships had an 8-foot chain link fence all the way around. On account of they had soldiers that commit suicide. And really, we was locked down on the boat, but we had everything we wanted. But we sat out in the bay for 2 or 3 days before they unloaded us. And a lot of guys was going to climb that fence and swim in. Got a lot of people in there, a lot of girls and all. But they seen these big porpoise fish, and we didn't know then if they were friendly, so they decided they wouldn't do that. Yeah.
So you lost everybody in your platoon? Nobody was injured and came back either?
The what?
You lost everybody in your platoon?
In my squad.
Oh, okay.
The companies had 4 squads. There usually 25, 30 guys in the squad. Yeah, I lost everybody in mine. Most of them got killed. And one of my boys deserted, and he was older. I think he was probably 40 years old. And I saw him when I was headed for the hospital, and I hollered at him, and he looked at me and he says, "You're not going to turn me in or in." I says, "Hell no, if I'd have had guts enough, I'd have run with you too, you know." And you just don't go through that stuff, see. Yeah.
The French?
French goons. French goons. And, of course, in Italy, it's all mountains where we was at. See, and there was up there, up and down and up. And the French goons, though, they claim that, and their wives walked in front of them in case there was mines. And I know that, but
That's real life.
they claim that the French goons, though, went out, if they didn't get blood on their, they pulled those big knives. And if they didn't get blood on those knives, they pricked themselves. And I don't know if that's the truth or not, but that's what they said. Yeah. See, when I got to Italy, I think the Italians had already surrendered. I'm not sure. But the Italians, they'd be on big trucks and singing, and all of them singing. at Angio, they haul bodies out, big truckloads, and just throw them on like big bags of corn.
Cordwood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I went 42 days one time without taking back.
Well, they taught you how to air your body, and that's what these Germans were doing. See, they was airing their body instead of,
Giving sunlight so it kills germs.
yeah, yeah. But we had trouble getting water to drink, and they gave us cigarettes free. And believe it or not, though, when I was on the Mussolini Canal, we had hot meals once in a while. Kind of the cooks were way in the back. Yep.
I think that's one thing, you know, when you take a look at what's going on today, the period of time, for instance, we've been in Iraq, by comparison, how many guys in World War II would have been killed?
Oh, yeah.
You know, relatively, you know, not to minimize any soldier's death, but this war hasn't had nearly the casualties that the Vietnam War had.
Well, I don't think a lot of young boys today did what we had to do back then. They'd tell them to go jump in the river and go to Canada or something.
They wouldn't unless they absolutely had to.
Yeah, but we didn't know any better or something, you know, and we just did it. And when you look back, you wonder how you did it, you know. And kind of, you really wasn't strong enough mind-wise or anything else, you know.
But isn't it amazing what you can do when you just have to do it?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you didn't have a choice.
And of course, in World War II, if you didn't do what they do, they'd shoot you. And, yeah. I remember one time I went out on patrol and I missed part of it. And the commander told me when I got back, if you don't make the whole patrol, don't come back. And they meant it. And a lot of times when you go out on a patrol, you'd go by yourself. And I remember the first time I went, one of the guys that had been up there, he said, go by yourself. And I said, well, like hell, I'm going to go by myself. And that's the words I said to him. And he said, well, he says, 8 or 9 men makes more noise than one.
Mm-hmm.
And I made it that time by myself. But you're scared to death all the time, you know.
I was gonna say, I mean, you go out there by yourself, you hear every little noise around you and everything else, huh?
Yeah.
You're probably extremely alert.
Oh, yeah, but you're scared all the time, you know. If anybody ever tells you he's up there wasn't scared, they're not telling you the truth.
Well, one thing you have to know is the guy on the other side was scared too. I mean, everybody, you know.
I dug a hole one time get below the level, and I was in an old barnyard where it had cows and horses, and I didn't realize it till I was laying there for a while. God, it was awful. And,